There we go. I am here with an incredible customer of ours who's been with us for a while, Mark from the Foundry Real Estate Group, and it's been great working with you guys. I'm gonna have a couple questions just to be forward. He was generating leads with us or in general well before actually working with us and engaging in our services, obviously on the ISA front. So he knew the struggles of it, but I'm gonna let him kind of dive in. Mark, if you want to introduce yourself, maybe how long you've been in real estate, how long you've been generating leads, and then just anything in between, and we can roll from there. It's great having you on.
Yeah, sounds good. I appreciate it. Yeah, my name's Marc McMahon, founder of Real Estate Co. in Edmonton. I've been in real estate now for 23 years, and I've been generating leads online for about 13.
Love it. I guess when did you realize, and I get, there isn't really like a perfect time for everyone, but you got to the point, I think you were doing, if I remember our very first conversation, it was like, hey man, I'm doing 200 leads a month or 150 or something like that. We need to delegate this, whether it's with you or we find something else. I think you were kind of going over with different vendors at that point. When was the moment where you're just like, we have to get the ISA stuff off our plate because it's just bogging the team down right now?
Yeah, just when we're reviewing last year's analytics, you're looking at, I think we were generating, yeah, it's about 220, 230 leads a month. And then the call percentage, I was like, it's got to be below 50%. So you're like, we're generating them, but we're not following up, which in essence actually makes us look bad.
Yeah.
So it was just a great problem, but it's still a problem. We're generating a great amount of leads, but we need the follow up. We're not getting the follow up.
Hmm.
Um, the best agents they're doing good when they don't have time or when they have time. And then
Yeah.
as soon as they get busy, the calls fall off and it's difficult. So just trying to streamline it so we can get rid of the waves of real estate and just make sure they're kind of getting consistent appointments, even when they've got a full book of buyers they're working with.
Yeah, that goes right into it. Once we got rolling, like after which onboarding was really good. You guys already had your system set up and everything was rolling. It's just we needed to plug into it. Post that, how was the experience from like I guess it was to you too. We sent you a couple appointments, but to the team members, I guess from your point of view, how cool was it to see like new buyer appointment from Convertifi and you saw the details? I know some leads were very like paragraph long, but others you get 3 paragraphs, 4 paragraphs of information. How was that? Because I remember us sending them, I think it was in the first day or two, and I was like, this feels good. We got them some quick wins first, which was awesome, and that's obviously what we strive to do. But I want to, if you have any notes, I'm curious on, I guess, how that felt from your side.
Yeah, no, I'd had an ISA previously, but we had gone through the work of training them ourselves, which is an entirely different process and difficult. And
Yeah.
finding good people, as we know, is virtually impossible. So we had gone down that path. So my business had been the most successful with an ISA calling on our behalf. So
Hmm.
that's why we're like, okay, how can we outsource this? How can we bring it back? So getting that first email obviously is awesome. It's got all the details. You're meeting this person at 4 o'clock, give them a call. They're ready to talk to you. This is their price point. This is their areas. This is kind of what they're looking for.
Yeah.
So love getting that. That was part
That's
of the perception as well for our agents is the agents that are doing well, then you get an appointment when you're already busy. That's great, right? You're excited to chat with this person, build
yeah.
a relationship. So it's an added value as well. So that a little extra bonus. So from our perspective, everybody loves getting those appointments.
I love that. Do you have a rough idea on how many, even just from a monthly point of view, you could go into total too, but roughly how many appointments were booked during that time or are consistently booked, I guess, just across the board and across the entire team?
Yeah, so I think between across the entire team, it looked like to be just over 40 a month. So obviously, when you're getting more than one a day, it's a good system.
Yeah. What made you guys, because obviously we're only so far of it. I can obviously say we're the best and we do everything, but it's like, no, we work in tandem with you. This system only works as good as you do and vice versa. We have to work together on this. We only do half the job or sometimes even less. To get the appointment actually through the finish line is a totally different ball game. What made you guys so successful at getting leads across that? And then a finish line doesn't have to be a deal either. Just like, hey, we're setting them up with the lender, we're setting them up on showings. We got some type of specific, like way more specific search on and get that next meeting. What did you guys have in place to make this successful? So others listening, because I know there's going to be people who have this question where it's like, what is the process? When we get that from Brandon, what do we do? Kind of thing. I'm kind of curious what made you guys like tick that really well.
Yeah, our agents who had the most success with it were as soon as the appointment got booked, would reach out to that client and either send them a text or a voice note to just let them know they're excited to meet with them later in the day.
Yep.
They're going to answer any questions that they have. So they're building that relationship right away so that by the time we're talking to them, this is the third touch point already. So that relationship's already a little bit stronger.
Yep.
Um, And then the accountability portion, letting the team know, did we talk to them? Does it need to be rescheduled? Where are they along in the process?
Yeah.
Because accountability, when you're generating 230 leads a month, that's one of the issues we had, is maintaining that accountability can be tough,
Hmm.
because we all get really busy. So having that built in, as well as just that extra touch, that really helped our team.
Yeah, I think that was the thing is like so many agents. Well, we try to make these appointments so that they can basically pick up your agents can pick up where we left off with them, not to do the whole discovery, the whole qualification to see if they're interested. That's our whole service. That's the whole thing is we're just vetting them for you. That's our play here. And then they have to do obviously their end of the legwork. So sometimes they could pick up of like, well, this person's been working at this company for X amount of years. They've been owning 3 homes in the past. So it's really nice for you guys to just kind of pick up where we left off versus go through the whole process again. But also what you said perfectly there was the confirmation calls and texts. For those listening, you can't just, it's not like we send you an appointment and it's like, okay, I'm just going to call at 5 p.m. when it's set for it. You have to introduce yourself, like no questions asked before then, because these online leads aren't loyal. And Mark has been generating them for a very long time, so he knows us already. But for my eye view, there's so many people that think, oh, they're only looking on our site. I can promise you they're not. They are looking at 3, 4, 5 of your competitors' sites at the exact same time, because that's what the Google pay-per-click search is they're seeing a whole bunch of different rankings. We're not special. We have to stick out though. And what Mark's team did with even just a text goes so long you don't even understand, or a call, or some type of video or an email, something as an extra touch point, because then by then they're already getting 3, 4 touch points versus other agents. They probably aren't even calling as fast as we do. So that definitely helped. I guess the end off, we kind of already said it, but final question is, what would you recommend to other agents who want to not only, of course, generate leads? Generating leads is one thing, but graduate to our services where it's like, okay, I've got a predictable system. I got a ton of leads coming in. Unless they're going to spend 2 to 3 hours a day on the phone themselves, by all means, I guess this video probably isn't for that type of agent. What would you recommend who want to generate and hire a company like ours, or service like ours, or use an ISA, like you said?
Yeah, I mean, I think the biggest thing is to reflect back and really look at your time and the time your hours and the agents are putting in.
Yeah.
I've been doing it for a long time. I've trained a lot of agents, and the percentage of agents who can do calls consistently every single day for 1 to 2 hours is exceptionally low. I'd put it at like the 1 or 2%.
Yeah.
98% can do it for a short period of time, but then they fall off. So it's just such a rare thing that we find in agents.
Hmm.
But there's, in our market, we'll say there's 3,500 agents. So I want to help out the majority of them, not the 2%. So yes, the 2% still benefit from this. They really love it because they're organized, they're doing their calls. It's
Yeah.
just an added benefit. You're getting extra bonus appointments on top of it. But those that really struggle, this is really taking them over that hump, giving them that opportunity to have those conversations with people.
Right.
So yeah, super
Uh,
valuable in that respect.
I love it. This has been awesome. That's really it from my side. For those agents who are listening, got to have it's pay to play for sure. But your organic, your sphere, your repeat referrals. We just talked about this a couple weeks ago with someone else, where it's like he had a great, incredible month for 2 months straight. He had like 6 referrals come through, and then he went for like a 3 to 4 month dry spell because he didn't have online leads running, and the sphere kind of dried up for a little bit, rightfully so. And it's like I get the mental tax that it takes on you, where it's like, am I good enough or whatnot? Why the hell aren't deals closing? So I understand that, but that's why online leads. Mark and I had this conversation years ago, where it's like online leads are the bread and butter, because you put $1 into ads and you could usually predict that you're going to get 4, 5, 6 out, or sometimes a little bit less in the beginning, but long term, that's what happens. And his team also was really good at expectation setting. It's something we didn't really talk about, but that's the final thing I'll say before we get off is a lot of agents, especially now, I'm recording this in March of 2026. It's a weird time for the market. Like nobody really knows what's going on. All markets are kind of all over the place. And it's messy and you have to stick out. Now is a perfect time where lead costs are actually a little bit lower right now. So you can get more for more bang for your buck. But better yet, like you have to have a clear process. You can't be super messy and thinking that leads are going to close in 30 days. It's like you got to give this thing time. You got to let things compound on their own. And with obviously a service like us, that can help supplement that. So no, that's awesome. I appreciate you coming on, man. It's awesome sharing the notes. For those listening, I appreciate your time. And Mark, it was great chatting. Appreciate you.
Yeah, thanks, Brandon. Appreciate you.
Thanks.